Today we're talking about how to start an LLC in Indiana. Hi, my name is Eric, and in today's video, I'm going to walk you through 3 different ways that you can set up an LLC. But more importantly, I'm going to be talking about certain terms and things you really need to be aware of if you're in the process of setting up an LLC. And those terms are things such as piercing the corporate veil, registered agents, and commingling funds. Now, if you're not familiar with these terms, as we go through the video, I'm going to explain why they're important and why it's really necessary that you understand these concepts. But the first thing we're going to do is if you go to Google and search Indiana LLC, the first page that opens up here is the state website. So when you land on the page here, it's not intuitively obvious on where you should go to set up an LLC, but what you're going to want is this InBiz online services. So when you click on this, it's going to open up in a new page, and this specific URL that you're seeing up here, this is where you're going to want to go if you're trying to set up directly through the state. All of the links and resources mentioned in this video will be in the description below, so you can click any of those links. If any of them are affiliate links where I would get a commission, I will make mention of that, but this is a completely free tool for you to use to set up your online business. So before you get to this page, you may have to create an account if you do not have one already. One of the first things I want to make you aware of, which I think it's a weird way that they label this saying follow a business. So what you can do here is you can search business names. Now I want to give you an example of this because the name that you choose can't already be taken in your state. So let's say I was to put in Hoosiers LLC. Now, as you'd imagine, obviously this is taken already in the state of Indiana. But if I was just kind of, go crazy in the keyboard and search that, what you're going to see is that nothing comes up. So that's what you want if you're looking into the business name, is you want to make sure that there are no records to view that match that name because you need a unique name. So going through the process a little bit further, if we go back to the dashboard. So again, not intuitively obvious, but because it gives you a couple drop downs, this is more of a dashboard. Again, you're going to have to click start a new business up here, and that's going to take you through the process and it's going to guide you through. So we're going to click next here. So I'm just going to click on frequent user, and what we want to set up is a limited liability company. I'm going to click continue. Now, have you reserved a name for this business? No, not yet. And again, this is where you can kind of put in something crazy, check availability, it's available, click next. So this is really where I wanted to get to in this part of the video, is talking about registered agents. This site is a little interesting in that you can actually search for registered agents in the state of Indiana. So let's say you have a business. What you could do is you could just put in Jim and you can do a search. So it's going to pop up some people that are active that you could reach out to be your registered agent. On the right-hand side, it does explain it a little bit. It says registered agent receives important legal documents on behalf of businesses. If you do not have an Indiana address, you may select a service company or Indiana attorney as your registered agent. So one of the unfortunate things, though, is it doesn't really go into the pitfalls of not having a proper registered agent. So at this point, what I want to do is talk about what a registered agent is. Before I even get to that, though, I think it's helpful to understand what exactly an LLC does so that you can understand the pros and cons of an LLC. So you have your business, right? You're growing your business and you have your business assets. Maybe you have an office or a location, retail store. And then you have your personal assets. These are things like your personal home, personal car, personal bank accounts. The purpose of an LLC is to limit your liability. So when you have a proper LLC created, what it does is it creates a division between your personal and business assets. This is important because if you were sued, the attorney trying to sue your business is going to try and find a crack in your LLC, which is called piercing the corporate veil. And when they do this, that division between your personal and business assets disappears, and that attorney suing you can go after not only your business assets, but your personal assets as well. So that's most of the time, that's why somebody's setting up an LLC. It's not for some sort of tax advantage or anything like that. It's to limit your liability. Now, one of the issues that they can find is if you don't have a proper registered agent. Now, to better understand what a registered agent is, this is a great article from InkFile. It's an online legal tool that you can set up LLCs. If we scroll down a little bit, it gets a little bit more into the weeds. So a registered agent, official letters and correspondence from your Secretary of State, service of process notices. So if you were sued, this registered agent, this third party, is actually going to get that process notice, and they're going to make sure that you're showing up in court and doing everything that you're supposed to be doing when stuff hits the fan. As far as official federal government correspondence, information, and notifications, tax forms and requests for payments, and requests to complete permits, company filings, or reports. That last one's really important because if you're not up on your company filings or reports, again, that can create a crack in your LLC. So when you have that crack in the LLC, What that attorney suing you is going to do is pierce the corporate veil and again be able to go after not only your business assets but your personal assets. And that's why I'm a little let down by a lot of the state websites. At least this one does give you kind of a search directory of people that you can reach out to. But what I'd like to do at this point is actually look at a different service, right? So if you go back to the InkFile page here and you go to their homepage, this is where you can use an online legal tool. And one of the things that I like about this as opposed to using the state website is that it's still $0 plus state fee, right? And as we mentioned earlier, the state fee for Indiana is $98. So know that there is no way of getting around that $98 fee. If you're using a tool like InkFile or you're going through the state website, or even if you're using an attorney, they may bake that fee into their cost structure, but you're going to pay $98 to the state of Indiana. Now, if you're doing it online, sometimes there is a little bit of an extra fee just to cover transaction costs. So going back here though, what they do is it's $0 plus that $98 state fee. So if you're like me, you might be wondering like, how are they doing that? I'll explain that in a minute. Just know though that they have launched 250,000 businesses since 2004. So if you click on launch my business, what you do is select LLC, and 80% of all new business entities set up are LLCs. And then we're going to go down to Indiana. So there's going to be 3 packages that pop up here: silver, gold, and platinum. But as I mentioned, $98 state fee and then $0 package fee. So you'll see below preparing the files of articles of organization, which is going to help you set up your LLC, unlimited name searches, which is unlimited on the state website as well. But here's the kicker: free registered agent service for a year. So if you were to go through this route and you're going through one of these guys or whoever shows up in the database, you're immediately going to be charged for that registered agent service. But if you're going through InkFile, it's free for the first year, but then year 2, year 3, year 4, there's going to be a fee for that registered agent, just like there would be if you're going through one of these services. So if we go back to this registered agent article here on InkFile and we scroll down a little bit, I'm going to highlight a line of text here talking about registered agents, and it says it's even free for the first year when you incorporate with InkFile, and just $119 annually after that. So do know when you are looking at the packages back here that even though it's $0, year 2 it's going to be $119 for that registered agent service. But that service is really important because you want to make sure that this person is dotting their I's and crossing their T's as it pertains to your LLC, so there are no cracks and you have a proper LLC. So if you do go up into the gold and platinum, one thing I want to highlight in the gold package is this EIN business tax number. That is a pain in the butt to set up. When I got set up with my LLC, I did that myself. And I should mention, I'm not a CPA or attorney. I'm just somebody who's done a lot of research on this topic, and I'm sharing it with you so that you can make the best decision for yourself. And if you're trying to save money and you want to go with a lower package or through the state website, the article that you're going to need here is this right here. And again, that'll be in the description below. And this is going to walk you through all of the questions that you need to know about setting up an employer ID number, EIN, and then also applying for that EIN online. It's definitely a little complicated, and if you want to have this service do that for you, they will. Another thing that I want to highlight here too is your business banking account. So at the beginning of this video, I talked about commingling funds. So what that term basically means is, let's say you have a personal bank account right now and you decide you're going to run your business through that personal bank account because you're just getting started. But then you start having transactions and expenses and paying vendors through that personal bank account. What you're doing is commingling funds because you have personal and business funds going in and out of that one bank account. And again, this creates another crack in the LLC. That attorney suing you is going to find that and then going to try to go after both your business and your personal assets. So that's why having a business banking account is so important, and they set that up for free for you. If you were to do it yourself, of course it's free somewhere else too. They do it through Bank of America. They just kind of streamline it and make things easier for you as you're getting set up. But really quick, if you were to choose that gold package in the middle, that's where you'll see the additional $149 and your state fee. But I want you to be aware of the fact that this is a tax savings benefit. So it is a fully deductible business expense. So do know whatever you spend on setting up your LLC, no matter what route you go, it is a deductible business expense. So at the beginning of this video, I believe I mentioned that there is a way that you can also go through an attorney. Now, so you may want to go through an attorney if you're doing business in state and out of state, because that's where it can get a little bit complicated. We're setting up LLCs, but what I want to do is show you a little tip on how you can find a good LLC attorney in your state, but also get a free consultation. So this service, I'm not affiliated with them in any way as of right now of making this video. It's called Avo, and I will again include this link in the description below. So what it is it's a list of 22 attorneys that specialize in setting up LLCs in the state of Indiana. If you want to make it a little bit easier, what you can do is, and when you go down here, there's this option here for free consultation. If I check that box right right now, you're going to see that we went down to 5 results. So all 5 of these attorneys are going to offer a free 15-minute consultation. So if you have questions, you can ask them, and you're not immediately running up a bill for yourself. Of course, it's very expensive going through an attorney. You're going to look anywhere from probably $800 to $3,000 to get set up with an LLC through an attorney. Kind of depends on your situation. So that's why some people don't want to go that direction. But if you do have a complex situation, it is advised that you go through an attorney. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is there is a video on the screen as an ink file review. I go a little bit more into the weeds on ink file, and at about the 2:30 mark, I explain how you can actually potentially save on taxes setting up as an S-Corp versus an LLC. So you may find that really interesting. So I want you to check out that video. And again, thank you for using my links in the description below and supporting my YouTube channel. All right, guys, I'm going to catch you in that next video.